Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber 1147, and this is Puresight Merrow Combo Blade. I have played versions of this deck twice on the channel before, once inside of a dedicated Merfolk shell, and once more like this that I'm playing today. The combo here is Puresight Merrow, 2 mana 2/2, for a blue-white hybrid. You can untap this and look at the top card of your library, then exile that card. This is the barely used, poorly received, inherently broken untap symbol on a creature rather than tap symbol. The combo is Paradise Mantle. Equipped creature has tap, add 1 mana of any color. Now we have a Merrow that taps for blue or white, then untaps to look at and potentially exile the top card of your deck. If you have Thassa's Oracle in your hand, you can just exile your deck and win with that Thassa's Oracle. You can also set this up over 2 turns, where you exile cards till you find the Oracle, you draw it, and then you untap, exile the rest of the cards, and play Oracle. The 4x step through in the deck, there's some flavor text on this, but the important thing is Wizard Cycling 2, which can get the Thassa's Oracle, or the Puresight Merrow, or Tamiyo in a pinch, or Meddling Mage, or Harbinger of the Seas. Some cool wizard synergies here. And all of that is hidden inside of this Azoria Stoneblade deck. The Stoneforge Mystic can get Paradise Mantle and combo off, or it can grab something like Cauldron Complete and just go to work. Urza's Saga can also get the Paradise Mantle, or Lava Spur Boots, which can give the Merrow haste, and then you can go off sooner than anyone thinks. There's a couple Aether Vials in here. 2 might seem like a weird number, but I didn't want 4, and I also didn't want 0, and I just got to split the difference. The changes since the last time I played this deck, Voice of Victory exists now. Your opponent can't cast spells during your turn. Pretty nice effect when I'm trying to combo off with a clunkety multi-piece creature combo. And now that I have all these human bards in the deck alongside these core artificers, I had to back off of 4 Cavern of Souls, which the last build played. Now I have 2. It's still good, but I do need my mana to cast my normal spells as well. And I've reconfigured the sideboard for the present day metagame. Cards I think are pretty dope right now. Rest in Peace and Meddling Mage. Meddling Mage has been kind of crept by Disruptor Flute, and it's possible Disruptor Flute is still better to try to catch up to things that have already resolved. But I found that a lot of blue-white decks don't actually close on decks like Doomsday and Show and Tell fast enough that they just get the 3 extra mana to cast their spell and they're fine, but Meddling Mage just turns it all the way off. And I just like playing with Meddling Mage, and it's a wizard for the theme. Those are my changes. Let's do it. This is Puresight Merrow Combo Blade. On the draw in round 1, I'm obviously not keeping this no-lander. 21 lands in the deck, slightly more than I would normally play. Like 20 is about the number I normally put in blue-white decks, plus there's the 2 Aether Vials. I always like to take stock when I'm looking at a no-lander of did I build the deck poorly, or is this just normal Magic stuff? A mulligan. Right, it's not pretty, but Urza's Saga is the type of card that can do stuff on its own. It's a threat, and it's a combo piece. I'm not the type of combo deck that goes to 4 or 5 and expects to win. Volcanic Island Ponder. Could be Delver, taking some time to set up. Could be Sneak and Show. Did not shuffle. Oh, hello. Well. Suddenly I'm doing something. I was just going to fetch for Meticulous Archive, but now we're gaming. Oh, interesting. Force pitching Brainstorm on Tamiyo. I'm actually going to let that happen. I'm not really backing the Tamiyo up with anything, and I do think it's possible that my opponent is on a combo deck still. Okay, probably not on a combo deck. I'm going to force this thing. I hope they needed that. Wow, I'm so annoying. Look at me with my replacement Tamiyo after they just force of willed one. We're in there. Yeah, they must have just drawn that Lightning Bolt, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to force a Tamiyo if you have Lightning Bolt in your hand. I am going to fetch basic planes right now. The reason I'm doing that is if they draw and play Wasteland, then they could respond to my fetch by clipping Saga. This way, guarantees at least 1 construct. Okay, came up with a second Corey Steel Cutter. The Mishra's Bauble, holding back, has finally found its home. I will be larger than Monk tokens with my constructs. There'll be 3/3s here. And I think I do want the Paradise Mantle. And I'm going to keep fetching basics because I'm pretty close to comboing off, actually. Okay, equip my construct who does not have summoning sickness. And I'm not attacking because that's not my job here. Another one. Uh-oh. Please don't have another bauble as well. Hey, caramba, here they come. This will be a bunch of 2/2s, though. I can manage 2/2s. Yeah, just the 3/3s attacking. I accept. Ponder. Do I want to ponder? Do I just want to step through? I think I can ponder. Stoneforge, Mystic, Tameo, Prismatic Ending. I don't want to start prismatically ending now. Kind of into this Tameo, though. That'll make my constructs bigger every turn. If I can put the wall up here. That's a way out of this. Life total quickly diminishing, though. The triple Quarry Steel draw is brutal. They didn't have this land at any other point over the last 4 turns, so that was the draw for turn. Looks like they're tapping Murktide mana right now. There's Murktide. Ooh, dazing their own Murktide to go nuts with the Quarry Steels. Respectable. Again, this is going to be a lot of 2/2s. Okay, they're not moving the Quarry Steels over to the new monks. That makes sense. Have some 3/3s. I'm going to block one of them. Yeah, I need to absorb some damage here. Do I need this construct to tap for mana next turn? What if I block both? Yeah, I think blocking both is actually better. And I'll cycle step through for the Puresight Merrow. There's a lot of damage over there. Ooh. Cavern on Wizard. Play that out. I cannot afford to put the mantle on it. And I could, it's just irrelevant. I have to step through for Thassa's Oracle this turn. Okay, I have to survive this turn. That's the job. We played the Volk. Equip. Quarry Steel the hard way. Wow, that's such an honest attack. The monks could attack here and just bluff any spell. Okay, I'll block because I understand some amount tramples over, but I'm all in here. This is going to work or it's not. Wizard cycle 4, Thassa's Oracle. Big draws, please don't have anything. Paradise Mantle right here. Tap for blue, untap. Have we done it? Yeah! Inside out Cephalid Breakfast. Fear me. Okay, Hydroblast coming in. Prismatic Ending, Rest in Peace. That's what I like about Rest in Peace in this format right now. It's just also great against the tempo decks, in addition to the Oops All Spells kind of mess and lands. There's a lot of popular decks that this card is good against. I am a combo deck, so I like my Force of Wills. Aether Vial kind of rips here, but I might just have to make room for my spells and play normal. Aether Vials, chill. I love Voice of Victory. Lava Spur Boot's not really what I'm doing here. Giving a Puresight haste could buy me a turn if I'm getting clocked, but I'm trying not to get clocked because I'm bringing all this removal. And maybe -1 Force of Will after all, because I'm upgrading it to cards like Hydroblast and Rest in Peace that manage their threats in other ways. Let's do it. Okay, I have solid mana. Urza Saga, Stoneforge Mystic. Do I Force of Will a Dragon's Rage Channeler here? I'll start the conversation. I don't normally make plays like this, but my hand takes a little while to heat up, but I kind of like where it goes once it does get there. Now they're pondering, looking for action. I think I'm going to fetch basic planes next turn. I'd love to get my Meticulous Archive in the mix here and just get that selection, but I want Wasteland to have to target Urza Saga. I don't want them to be able to target a non-basic land, then I just don't get anything out of Saga. Swords to Plowshares, extra reason to have a basic planes around. I'm just going to get Cauldra. Put you to the test. Because the only other thing I can get doesn't matter right now, and also Saga can get it. Ponder. They shuffled both of the Ponders they've cast this game, by the way. Brainstorm. This is going to have to come up with land plus Bolt, or else they're getting clapped by Cauldra. This Dragon's Rage Channeler would have seen 3 extra cards already, and if my opponent's struggling, which it does appear that they are, forcing that Channeler was worth a ton of card selection. Volcanic Island, that's half the battle. Blue mana. Oh yeah, alright, I'm gonna get Cauldron into play. We'll see if it's good enough. Shuffled Ponder again, wow. Just can't find anything they want here. A Brainstorm. I'm not casting that for a while, but always happy to see it. And I'm not messing around with this Urza Saga. I'm getting Cauldron in while the coast is clear. The race is on. Cutter, Storm Chaser Talent. That's a lot of prowess dopes. And a Wasteland. That's fine. That Saga was going to do very little, honestly. And now I can fetch my Meticulous Archive without feeling bad about it. Don't want Flooded Strand. I already have lands, good to go. Step through. Not really what I want. I'm going to attack with... Does attacking with Stoneforge change the clock? No, it doesn't. I'll leave Stoneforge back. That can block an Otter. And I think I'm going to save this Swords to Plowshares for a little while. Let myself play the other Stoneforge this turn. I should have held my land back if I was going to do it like this. Just sloppy as hell. And that's why there's a Flooded Strand I would have used. That's fine. Okay. I can put back Island and Step Through and just focus on this part of the game. I could just play Tamiyo here and leave up Swords to Plowshares, but I kind of want to shuffle. Yeah, I'm going to play the other Stoneforge. If they daze this, it's not a huge deal. That's a spell they don't have on their turn. And they've shown the range that they know how to daze their own spells to get paid. Wow, Force of Will's even better. Force Pitching Consign. Alright, got a 2-for-1 on a card I barely cared about. Deal. That did stuff my shuffle, unfortunately. But that's okay. I'm drawing Step Through, which can get back to work on finding Puresight Merrow. Opponent's got a Brainstorm and a Brainstorm. This combat will be interesting. Just how much they attack with versus how much they leave back. Are they trying to absorb any damage off this Cauldron, or is shoving the correct way to do this for them? If they come up with a Lightning Bolt and kill my Stoneforge, I might be close to dead. Yeah, that's damn near dead. I will block the Otter token here. I guess Otter and Monk are the same. Like, this Monk has Trample, the other Monk doesn't. I'll block one of the creatures that don't have Trample, is my point. I'm drawing Step Through. Gotta keep the pressure up. If I start holding Cauldron back to block, I start losing. I have Tamiyo that can block, and Swords to Plowshares I can play. The Plow could be a little awkward, because if I gain them more than 2 life, Cauldron's not lethal anymore. Pyroblast, that one. This is an attack for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, I said the thing by accident. Alright, I'm going to let some prowess triggers resolve here. Lightning Bolt. So now this is... I'm at 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I have to actually plow the big one here, which puts them to 6. That sucks. Oh, I actually could have waited. I'm dead anyway. Right, they got a new monk. Right, that's how that works. Whoops. That's fine. Cauldron, this is why Cauldron's not in decks really anymore. It's been kind of phased out in favor of Batterskull and Meteor Sword, but I'm not a Felia deck, so what am I doing with Meteor Sword? And I don't really have other cards I could bring in. And I'm not bringing in Deafening Silence to try to turn off Corey Steelcutter. That doesn't seem like a good plan. And that's the last thing I'd really be thinking about it all here. Meddling Mage could name Corey Steelcutter or Lightning Bolt or, whatever, but that's such a low impact body in a matchup that has so many different things. Island Ponder. I'm very interested in access to basic planes at some point here. Ponder found Volcanic Island. The awkward sometimes makes Prismatic Ending better. Volcanic Island. I have to shuffle this. I just can't cast any of the spells in my hand. Another Ponder. Okay. I'm kind of into the counter the 1-drop play pattern here. Especially with Step Through, a card that is kind of bad. I don't even mind losing it. Hydroblast. Alright. I'm gonna Ponder. I'd rather have a Plains in play this turn. Oh no. That Island does get Urza's Saga going. And then I can shuffle with Step Through. I guess I'll take it. I could leave up Hydroblast to fend off Corey Steel this turn, but I could also let them have 1 monk and then blow up the Corey Steel and see where we are. And if they don't have Corey Steel, which they don't, then it would be foolish not to develop the Saga. Another Ponder. There's a lot of spells. I'm good for at least 1 Construct here. And that Construct can pick up the Paradise Mantle and then turn on the rest of my hand. Okay, pass. Well, mono blue deck. Mono blue Saga. Not a Wasteland. Channeler's gonna have to stick for a minute. I don't have the mana to mess with that with a Hydroblast. I'm also about to miss a land drop. I don't necessarily have to. I could step through right now. I think I'm going to do that. I would just really like to draw a land. Would be great. And I'm going to get Puresight Merrow. Drew another step through. Life is pain. Grab the Paradise Mantle. It's my only choice. And I think I'm just passing with Hydroblast available here. It's the same thing to equip, though, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Except now I also have Swords of Plowshares available. And if they bolt this right now, then I have no mana into the next turn, but that's going to get me anyway. A Thundering Falls kept the card on top. Horrific. Boomerang Basics targeting my creature. That's quite good. I'll let the Surveil happen. And I guess I'm going to Hydroblast right now. Or no, I'm going to Plow right now. While I have access to this color of mana, I can Hydroblast anytime. Though you can't Hydroblast a Murktide, if that is the follow-up here. Force of Will, okay. Pitching another Boomerang Basics. Alright, these things are going to happen. They take 3 damage. Plains, yeah, alright, found a Plains. We're gaming. I'm going to start with Voice of Victory, and just start checking their hand for counter spells before I commit to anything else. Okay, I'm in. And I can use Hydroblast to counter a Lightning Bolt on my Voice of Victory. Though that does leave the Dragon's Rage Channeler still in play. Right, let you Surveil first. I want them making that decision when they think my Voice of Victory is going to be gone. Okay, Storm Chaser's Talent follow-up. 3 damage. They did tap a red in response to my Hydroblast, then untapped it. Makes me a little nervous. All right, Puresight Merrow is going to resolve. And I don't need to equip. Am I going to block? It's possible. All right. Might need to block, and damage is not what this game's about. All right, Pyroblast my Merrow. I have a replacement Merrow, though I'm running out of time to set all that up again. Surgical Extract, Puresight Merrow. All right, well, I don't have Merrows anymore. Now I guess I step through for Tamiyo and just hope I draw a bunch of Swords to Plowshares in a row. That's tough. At least they just did it proactively because of the Prowess creature. If they had waited for my end step, they would have got a card out of my hand as well. Okay. I am going to take the damage because I suspect Voice of Victory might be able to block this Otter in the future. I don't have any double white that matters. Wizard Cycle for Tamiyo. Ridiculous Archive, not what I want. Scalding Tarn, also not what I want. Tamiyo, get in there. Paradise Mantle doesn't actually have any combat words, it's just tapping for mana. But I might need to do that. Alright, dead to Lightning Bolt, and they know it. Brainstorm. That was a clutch Surgical Extraction. That was pretty nice. Ironic that if I drew my Rest in Peace this game, that card would have not worked. And this Dragon's Rage Channeler would be doing 1 instead of 3. Okay, so I am dead here. I don't have any sweepers. We got a game, got them with the surprise combo, and then got clipped by trusty old Surgical in game 2. On to the next one. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw in round 2 with my first turn 1 Aether Vial. Maybe in years of playing Magic and Legacy. This card used to be a staple, kind of fell off. Death in Texas doesn't even always play it anymore. They were the last true believers. Alright, Aether Vial on the stack. From a basic island, opponent probably thinks I'm Merfolk, and they're not entirely wrong. The cool thing about this Vial is I don't care if it gets forced, and also... Oh, pitching Jace the Mind Sculptor, opponent is gaming. I don't care if it gets forced, and also I'm pretty stoked if it resolves. It's the perfect card. I will take a Hymn to Turok off of that one. Opt. What the hell deck has Jace the Mind Sculptor and Opt in it? I'm excited. I wonder if this is just miracles and they're just looking for more cantrips that can operate on my turn to flip Terminus. I hope that is the case because Voice of Victory is going to be trouble if that's what you're trying to do. We're in there with the voice. Ooh, there was a pause in the draw step. I wonder if they just drew Terminus but didn't have white. Prismatic Vista, fetch. I am going to counter this. Sorry, step through. You're out of here. I believe in Ponder more. Yo, alright, now we're gaming. Do I want to cast the Ponder, I guess, is the question. I can just Stoneforge and then cast the Paradise Mantle. I can hold the Paradise Mantle, it costs 0. Alright, Paradise Mantle's in my hand. Opponent on the full. What the hell are you doing? Timeline. And that is a good question to ask. I'm gonna pass. Okay, I think they just have their Miracle Bluffing turned on, a stop in their own draw step, because they stopped in their draw step again and then didn't Terminus, which they obviously would do if they had it. Okay, second Plow clears the voice, but this is cool because I got to tutor the stupid equipment, and now I get to hit them with the good equipment. Archive. Don't need another island. At least I hope I don't. That would be a weird game where that's important. Ponder. Hey, there's my boy. Wait, how do I want to sequence this? Lava Spur Boots being under it is really interesting. All right, well, don't shuffle that, obviously. And then I'm going to ram Cauldron to play. Attack. Lava Spur Boots on top of my deck. I can see what my opponent does this turn and decide if that's a card I want. End step Snapcaster. All right, they're just choosing to opt here. That's really spooky. Like, they could just snap Plow and clear the Germ token, but they'd rather draw cards instead. That makes me think the Cauldron's already covered. Scry to the bottom. Brainstorm. I love my opponent's deck, whatever's going on over there. Big fan. Clearly got some miracle stuff going on. Found a land. Okay, I don't think I want Lava Spur Boots. I'm gonna get another island. Tamio's a heater. Okay, I'm gonna tag with everybody. The Stoneforge has done its job. Oh, am I gonna get Wandering Emperor? This is awesome. Oh, black mana. Cool. Could be anything. Bowmaster? Dress down. Okay, so are they gonna chump block the Germ that no longer has trample? Is that the plan? Cool. Alright. Now I have to make a real decision. Puresight Merrow puts lethal on the board, like just by attacking for 7. I don't want to overextend and dump out everything into a sweeper. Right, Paradise Mantle. My tricks have been revealed. I can also just, even if I'm not comboing off, I could just select what I'm drawing next turn. But I could, in my upkeep, exile cards until I find Thassa's Oracle, draw that, and then exile the rest of my deck. Okay, an end step opt. If this hits Terminus, it does work. Kept a card on top, but did not miracle a Terminus. That's lucky. Okay, what are we doing now? Oh wow, the Terminus was under. That was just randomly found. Opt doesn't keep cards on top, so that was just, here's a Terminus, dumbass. Alright. Opponent's back in the game. It's a miracle. Ponder. They're low on cards, but they did just get a debilitating 3-for-1. Didn't shuffle Ponder. Damio, I hope they force a Willis. Now that I have 2. Counter it, counter it, counter it. Yes! Force pitching force, and ain't I a stinker, another one. With the mantle on it. The best birds of paradise you've ever seen. Uh-oh, that's a lot of mana. Jace versus Tamio. I think Jace is ahead in this battle. Versus Saga, not bad. Never sad to see that one, especially in a grindy control situation. Ha! The Lava Spur Boot's still in my deck. The opponent can start Jacing here. Yeah, the brainstorming begins. And we know they play at least one dress down in the main. I don't know how reliable these constructs are even going to be. Oh no! What a banger. And I tapped the Urza Saga foolishly to equip. I could have... This was completely avoidable. Dang. Yeah, well, that sucks. Could have gotten at least one construct here. Crack my clue. Swords to Plowshares. I don't expect that to be super helpful. Opt. Opt to the bottom. That just cleared a Jace card that they found. Yeah, I think this back to basics is just about locking me out. Prismatic Ending, Devastating, Aether Vial. And I'm going to get Lava Spur Boots, so my future things are threats, at least. Opponent's not at a high life total. They're not at a low life total either, and Jace could start sealing me now. Brain Surge, they're living my dream. Yeah, it just didn't occur to me to play around back to basics. That was entirely doable and completely fine. If I just tap Island, it literally doesn't matter. I was just in my head, like, yeah, I'll use the colorless mana for the colorless effect. It's free to do, why not? But it's never free to do. Bonder shuffled, ended my Vial rather than my Boots. Okay, another Saga. This one can make a construct, and I can give it haste. Unless they tap it somehow or have main deck Wrath of the Skies. Jace is running here. They could be setting up Terminuses on purpose now. Oh yeah, Fire Nation Occupation. We found a win con. When this enters, created 2/2 red soldier creature token with Firebending 1. And whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, make a Firebending soldier. That's going to get gnarly. Okay, that's why we have Opt in the deck. All right. Draw for turn. Okay, Prismatic Ending on the soldier. I'm all in here. Construct. This is exactly lethal if my opponent has nothing. Any spell can produce a blocker here. I could plow that blocker. Yeah, there's Brainstorm. But now I'm not attacking for lethal. And if they have another spell, then they could just make another blocker. This also taps me completely out of white. Okay, attack you. Or should I attack Jace here? I don't have lethal anyway. I'm actually going to attack Jace, and I am going to plow. Okay, here we go. Because I need this construct to hit more than once anyway. All right, Force of Will. Now they could even double block. And I got nothing. Yeah, this Jace has been active for a very long time. Okay, and now I will just slug it out until they actually kill me. I have another Puresight Merrow, and I have Paradise Mantle and Lava Spur Boots in play. Another Fire Nation. Heck yeah, this is awesome. Cleared my Lava Spur Boots. All right, life is hard. I'm out of tutораbles for Saga. This is just going to die and do nothing. Basic Plains has appeared. That one is potentially useful. Brainstorm. Yeah, this turns the corner fast. I'm going to save this fetch land for in case Jace starts sealing me. Still brainstorming. Opponent's got 16 cards in their deck, but plenty of power to win the game before that's a problem. Firebending 1 gives you a bunch of red mana in combat. I wonder if the deck uses that or if this is just a generic win condition. Okay, I'll draw another Urza Saga. We're so back. Yeah, without haste, probably doesn't matter. I'm not quite dead on board, but it's very close. I go to 6 here. Saga ticks up. Step through. Yeah, that's almost useful. It's so close to being useful. The opponent just needed a spell on the end step, and they have multiples. Snapcaster, target Opt or Brainstorm, go nuts. I just want to see more. I know I'm dead. Sweet. I'll make a construct and then let them kill me. Yeah, Phil Thraben was talking about this card a while back, and I haven't gotten to play with it yet, though it seems like exactly my shit. Patreon subscribers, what are you doing? Send me this card. Okay, Insane Miracles, like full-ass Control Miracles, was not on my bingo card today. Consigned to Memory can counter Miracle Triggers. Swords to Plowshares does not seem important. Prismatic Ending could clear things like the Back to Basics or the Fire Bending thing. I could bring in just like anything that's a creature. Meddling Mage, Containment Priest. Harbinger does not look good for me, actually. I do have Snapcasters, though I don't think Rest in Peace is the solution to that. Containment Priest is awkward because it's a non-bow with Aether Vial. No, I'm not bringing that in. I might want the Meddling Mages, though. Like Meddling Mage on Swords of Plowshares or Terminus on a clutch turn, on Jace right before they turn the corner. I could see it. I think I actually want to go -1 Stoneforge Mystic. No, I have Brainstorms. I'm just thinking about how bad the second Stoneforge Mystic is in a matchup that's likely to go very long. It might be a step through if we're playing super long games. Okay, I'll try that. Okay, Get to go first. I'm going to keep Ponder into Voice of Victory. Sounds like a reasonable way to start a game. The Paradise Mantle, I don't want that right away. Oh, the step through is here already. I probably just want to hit land drops for a while. So I can fetch next turn, play Voice of Victory, have the Mantle in my hand, ready to go, and then clear away the other land. That seems fine. I think I'm more likely to win this game comboing out than I am grinding. I am going to fetch a basic island here, despite Prismatic Ending being in my hand and my opponent's important things costing 3. Plains, Plow, Force of Will. Alright, well, I've got some vision for the future here. There's the Opt. Kept it on top. Topped the Opt. Step through in the end step. Get my Puresight Merrow. Cavern, let's go. Cavern on Wizard. Alright, that lets me skip a step of this process. Paradise Mantle. I just have to go all in here. That's the whole plan. I'll Force of Will, basically whatever they do here, and then try to win on my next turn. But I still lose to Dress Down. Force that. Force me back. Big trouble. Alright, force pitching back to basics. I'm happy to see back to basics go. I'm unhappy that my Puresight Merrow is not about to win the game. If they slam Jace here, I'll probably take one draw step, and then if it's not a good one, give up. I don't want to do this shit again. Here's Jace. Ooh, plus targeting me, going straight for the jugular this time. Did not put it on the bottom. Not a good sign. Oh no. I don't care about Voice of Victory. I guess I'll cast my stupid spell. Alright, I'm technically pressuring the Jace. Can't concede yet. Now in brainstorm mode. Bound to Plow. I don't think the kids know about Jace. It's been a long time since he was a big part of the Legacy format. But this is how most games used to end. There was an era where you were just like, well, I'm technically not dead. I'm technically drawing a card. I'm technically whatever. But, I mean, you're dead. But you have to kind of sit there and play it out. I've resolved into the vial. I don't know that that means anything. Card's not as good as Jace, and I don't have any creatures in my hand. Okay, my opponent has established their win condition. If I draw the Volk right now, I could remove that. Right, it's not Volcanic Island. Urza Saga. Don't do that. Don't give me hope. Here we go. Yeah. What's an Urza Saga in the face of the Fire Nation occupation? Put the card on the bottom. Prismatic Ending my Aether Vial. Okay. I'm not sure if that was doing anything anyway. But my opponent has that abundance of cards. Who cares? Step through. Okay, I mean, that lets me spend all my mana this turn. That's not nothing. Snapcaster. Opt. Yeah, there's even a line here where if I use Urza Saga to draw attention of removal spells and get Lava Spur Boots and then suddenly exile my deck, but I can't get the second wizard into my hand and my opponent will have another combat in between. I hate how badly I wanted to concede this game 6 turns ago, but my deck just keeps providing exactly enough to hold on to. Even though my opponent has drawn 2 cards a turn and sculpted their hand for every one of those turns in between. Ooh, something's happening in combat. We're using the Firebend mana. I can't wait to see what this is. I hope they just cycle Shark Typhoon with that. That would be so sick. Nope, they were just in the wrong phase. Another back to basics. Alright, I'll concede to that. I'm definitely not doing anything if I only have 2 mana. The thing I was trying to do was already dubious at 5 mana. That was awesome, though. Kudos to that opponent for being out here doing that in 2026. On to the next round.
The NYSE Open is returning on June 6, 2026 to Long Island, New York. This proxy-friendly vintage tournament has the guaranteed prize pool of 8 pieces of Power 9 to be drafted by the top 8 based on final standings. Any additional profits made from the event will be added to the prize pool as on-site vendor credit. This tournament has been great the last 2 years. How often do you get to act sad about winning just a time walk? You know I'll be there. See you at the NYSE Open on June 6 on Long Island, New York. Use my link in the video description or find the New York Stacks Exchange on melee.gg.
I'm on the play in round 3 versus someone who I play against once in a while on the channel, who I believe is usually on Oopsal Spells, and they have a 61 card deck right now. I am not set up for this shit, certainly not in the main deck. I have 4 Force of Wills and no other game. I have a bit in the sideboard, but ugh. Yeah, this one is not going to do it even if I do get a turn. Alright, I found a Force. I guess we start somewhere. Gotta hope for that Maul to 4 that can actually beat a Force of Will. 6 cards is probably more than I can beat. I could have played Tamiyo there, but I'm prioritizing the Meticulous Archive. Here we go. Force that, pitching Puresight Merrow. Reveal my goods. Okay, I've survived turn 1. The problem is, my deck doesn't apply pressure very well. If I find a land, I can get Stoneforge cooking. Alright. I think it's better to set up Cauldra than to try to dig frantically for another Force of Will. I just have to hope that it'll take them more than 4 turns of Cauldra beats to present a second wave. Still have 3 cards in hand, though. They mulled to 6 and then presented the win with still 3 cards in the tank. Awful. Okay, a land. Okay, just dead. Yep, have the reanimate tech. I am going to look at the list. The reanimate tech is worth being aware of. Is that a 1 of, or do you have the 4? There's different ranges on that one. Cool, that was a 1 of, it looks like. I love my life. There are Summoner's Pacts, there are Pact of Negations, Ball Therapies, all that stuff. Alright, you got me. Consign to Memory, Meddling Mage, Grafdigger's Cage, Fairy Macabre, Deafening Silence, Containment Priest, Rest in Peace. 11 card sideboard. Aether Vial, no chance you're useful. Voice of Victory, doesn't matter. I could cut the combo here because it's not my job to win, it's my job to not lose. Lava Spur Boots, doesn't matter. Swords to Plowshares. Could leave in some number, but I don't think I want to. Puresight Merrow and Thassa's Oracle are blue. They have that going for them. I need one more cut here. I could cut Prismatic Ending, but I don't hate having at least one little piece that could interact back if they do have just unstoppable slasher all of a sudden. I could cut Paradise Mantle and just have the Puresight Merrows and Thassa's Oracles be creatures in my deck. Blue cards for force and creatures. Okay, here we go. On the play, and the Volcanic Island means I can't play the Deafening Silence, which usually slows them down well enough, even though it's not lights out. I'm gonna mulligan. Alright, I guess I'm keeping this. If they go on turn 1, I'm not actually set up here. If they take time to Thoughtseize me, and I get a second mana up, then I can push through a Pact. Also, this hand only plays against Balustrade Spy, not Undercity Informer. Bogger Bog. Consigning the Lotus Petal is tempting. Cabal Therapy gets double consign out of my hand anyway, just doesn't matter. Okay, well, I will shoot my shot here. Okay, I do still have to beat a 2-3 flying, which is not trivial. Volcanic Island, okay. A second blue is actually way more valuable to me than the first white here. Here come the beatdowns. I can step through for Tamiyo, which does get ahead of the Spy. Or I could get Meddling Mage, just name Dread Return. Then we're just in kind of a race, though. Is Dread Return even what I would name? Yeah, the problem is their graveyard is so stacked up with options. Okay, Tamiyo's in. It can block Balustrade Spy. Brainstorm can flip it, but I don't want to tap out a Consign right now. Block. Right, looking for one of my bangers. Saga does push the game in the right direction, I guess. I'm going to start with Brainstorm. Yeah, there's Containment Priest. Okay, now we're gaming. Put back Prismatic Ending and Ponder. Flip Tamiyo. Urza Saga. Plus Tamiyo. Containment Priest on my turn, so it doesn't get Pact of Negated. Tamiyo does go net positive into a Balustrade Spy. I +2, then take 1. I'm winning the damage race now. The Tamiyo ultimate race is also on. Blue's in the bank. Okay, just parking it over there. Plus Tamiyo again. And I'm just going to pass with Consign or Construct or draw a card available. The clue making my constructs big is nice. The only Saga bullet left in my deck is the Grafdigger's Cage I boarded in. Okay, get some creatures big enough to attack. Tutor Grafdigger's Cage, just pile it on here. Disrespectful. Tameo goes ultimate next turn. I can counter a Charbelcher with Consign. Okay, cool. Survived turn 1, got some hooks in. Now I gotta get one on the draw, where I only have Force of Will and Fairy Macabre coming to save me. Okay. I mean, my 11 cards are in. Or 13 cards, what was it? Was it 13? Yeah, it was. Or no, I didn't bring in an extra Prismatic Ending. Unkeepable. Gonna mulligan. Okay. Hold. This hand is good against Thoughtseize. I'm gonna bottom the Urza Saga. I think that's just the worst card in my hand, and I can cast Rest in Peace without it. And if Rest in Peace is in play, then I don't need to tutor for Grafdigger's Cage. Opponent's on 5 cards. Tapped Bajuka Bog. Getting a chance. Getting a turn here. Any blue card. Yeah! Alright. Now I have double force into Rest in Peace. That probably means I have to force a Cabal Therapy, though, which I really hate doing. Okay. Opponent's on the Mega Slow. This was a deep mulligan. The third force. Yeah, I'll keep that. Some number of those just become a problem. Like, you're not actually doing anything, but I'm good. I needed to force a Cabal Therapy anyway. I'll keep the extra one. Alright, just building up the mana. I gotta be on the lookout for Charbelcher. Wow, that was a great draw. I was gonna spend my turn stepping through for that, but I'll just take it instead. Brainstorm, flip it immediately. Hide Stoneforge Mystic on top of the deck. Keep my stack of blue cards. Temio Minus, not going to do anything because of Rest in Peace, but this does get the clock running on filling up the tank. Stoneforge Mystic, go get Cauldra. Okay, they're still not doing anything, but their hand keeps getting bigger. I don't love that. Versus Saga's nice. Just anything that develops my resources, my options here, I'll take. I like Thoughtseize into Cabal Therapy doesn't do it. You can't flash back Cabal Therapy, even if you have a creature, because Rest in Peace is there. Force of Vigor. Ooh, blowing up the Rest in Peace. Cauldra is indestructible, but I'll spend a force on this for sure. Alright, cool. Yeah, that Rest in Peace is worth everything. We got a GG in the chat. They must have been in on that. Okay, cool. Hopeless game 1. 11 sideboard cards come in. Opponent took some deep mulligans, and we're on to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play versus a Yorion. Keeping this hand is pretty nice, actually. All right, what kind of Yorion are you? Do you respect my game on Aethervial? Do you have one of your own, perhaps? Planes? Hell yeah! Handshake meme. Their Aethervial, good chance it's better than mine. But I have to take those chances. I'm going to fetch basic planes, even though there's a Brainstorm here. Yeah, I'm just going for Stoneforge Mystic right now, early and often. Cauldra is very poor versus Death and Taxes, but I still want to make them respect something here. I can't give them infinite time to figure it out. Another Vial. Okay, pitching a Johnny Nicodle Pariah with that Solitude. Okay, that's gone. I'm going to end step activate Vial and just not put anything in. That's the advanced metrics. It looks like I'm just trolling, but actually I am making it not obvious when I do actually have something to do with a Vial. If you activate it when you have nothing. A Voice of Victory, Tameo, rip off this Brainstorm immediately. Get Cauldra out of here. And put Ponder above it, I think. Sounds fine. Plus, them boots into play. Still allowed to fetch. That's not a spell. Still allowed to activate either Vial too. Also not a spell. Yeah, Johnny's interesting. I wonder if this is some sort of Yorion energy build and not actually Death and Taxes at all. Kept a card on top. Whatever it is, they like it. Didn't have a 1-drop for Vial. Please cast Blood Moon. I don't care. Vial on 1. Puts in Guide of Souls. Uh-oh. Boomby Zooms. I don't like these guys. Punished for casting that Lava Spur Boots. I could have had Plow ready here. Okay, they didn't go all the way in. I like that. They could have sacked any of their other permanents to finish off Tameo and just didn't. Cool, I'll take it. Plus Tameo, cast Ponder. That's very likely to shuffle because Caldra's on top of my deck. Oh, all right. That's even better. I'll take Stoneforge Mystic and then just get the Cauldra again. Oh shit! I could have vialed that in and attacked with Cauldra right now. Fuck me. I'm so stupid. I got so excited. Alright, that was a huge punt. I'll just have to live with it. Yeah, I could have vialed in Stoneforge, equipped Lava Spur Boots, activated it. Brought us down to 1 card in hand. The Orion clock is ticking, though. If this vial gets to 5, that could become an issue. But Tameo's gonna bust before that happens. A 4-drop from hand. This is some initiative shit. Witch Enchanter. Okay. I guess that's fine. I'm done using this Aether Vial. Don't really care about the Lava Spur Boots. Activate. Don't have anything. Okay, only 2 energy. No more cards in hand. Plow the Bombardier out of here. Okay. Something resembling stability has been achieved. I'll draw half my deck on the stack, play out my land, and am I in defense mode here? What does defense mode even look like? I guess I'll put the boots on Voice of Victory. Might as well have a 2-power creature on defense. And yeah, I am on Cauldra defense here. It doesn't take much, actually, for my opponent. Like, they just need to draw a creature, and then they can get Guide of Souls triggering. Just, like, don't draw a creature. How about that? Certainly not a good one. No, mana's being tapped. No, that's a really good creature. Dang. Okay. So Tameo will take damage this turn after all. But it will be neutral damage. Oh no, you can attack with a 2-power creature. Yep, that is legal. Okay, Tameo does net minus damage here. And Yorion is online next turn, if that matters. Okay, I'll put in the Cauldron now. And I'll get Meticulous Archive. Looking for a banger. Aether Vial, no thanks. Another Stoneforge. That can get the last piece. Or that can get my combo piece. I don't have the Merrow yet. Okay, I think Tameo has to get Plow back this turn. She's not really winning combat anyway. Stoneforge Mystic again. Get the Paradise Mantle. Take me down to the Paradise Mantle. I'll equip it to Stoneforge Mystic. I don't think it matters. Okay. And Cauldra does exile things that it deals damage to, but only if they're not dead already. So attacking here would flip a Johnny. Blocking will also flip a Johnny. I could just plow a Johnny, let Tameo die. If I was going to do that, I should have attacked. I'm going to have to do everything I want to do in response to Yorion going to hand anyway. Caracas! What a fucked up draw. I've blown it. Oh shit. That's not... God damn it, Brian. I literally called that out. That's a special action. It doesn't use the stack. Now I just, like, can't really do anything. Well, I guess I'll plow this, and it's a non-legend. If they want to put Yorion in right now, flicker that out, it'll come back smaller, I guess. Yeah, that was really bad. I just forgot how the companion mechanic worked. I just need to top deck Puresight Merrow anyway. That's my real job right now. Yeah, that was so bad. Okay. Mistakes were made. And opponent's gonna flicker all of their stuff. They can blow up my Paradise Mantle on the way back in if they recognize that's the important one. They might think Lava Spur Boots is more important. I don't know. I think I just lost this game because of that timing. Okay, Paradise Mantle is still in play. Draw for turn. Yep, I'm dead. Yeah, and the Yorion can pick up the... Or the Caracas could pick up the Yorion. Yeah, that was partially me blowing it, but also that Caracas off the top just hard-locked anything else that I would have done instead. That was tough. Okay, Consign to Memory coming in. Prismatic Ending. Containment Priest. I can actually cut my vials, because my opponent's a better vial deck than me, and if I bring in Priest, kind of into that. Meddling Mage could name Yorion. That doesn't matter if I'm getting vialed. What if I shave a bunch of Force of Wills? Consign to Memory in this matchup is frequently similar. I don't want to say it's the same thing. That's not true. But it's frequently similar. A Voice of Victory does very little here, though it does protect me from Solitude and Plow on my turn, which is what my deck's trying to do. It's important to understand the rules, it turns out. Okay, the mono white hand, I'll keep Aether Vial. I'm ready. So ready for that shit. I don't think I'm going to fetch here. I'll play Saga and then Basic Plains, blow up Aether Vial. That's out of here. Caracas. A Johnny. Cavern kind of sucks. I really want a Johnny out of play before that Caracas untaps. We know Cavern on core. I don't want to expose Tundra to possible Wasteland, and Basic Island doesn't play the game for me here. That's why I made all the decisions I did that turn. Plow on that one. Cat got in for one. I am going to make the construct. I think this game is going to be more about longevity than going quick and just getting action out of my cards. Yeah, okay. I get flushed to Swords to Plowshares out by making that decision. Opponent's missing land drops, which means their hand is all spells, but also means they're not doing anything. A Brainstorm. I could just swing with a construct here. I think I like that. Let's keep making you have exactly Swords to Plowshares. If you want a Solitude and spend 2 cards on this, I accept. There we go. Pitching Skyclave. All right, pitching Skyclave's a little spooky because that means that's not the worst 3, or that is the worst 3-drop in their hand, when that's frequently the best card in their deck. Ooh, we had to Lotus Petal out of Caracas, Recruiter of the Guard going, getting Witch Enchanter. That's probably for the land drop more than it is for the Witch Enchanter, but if they start drawing lands, that is something I have to be worried about. Construct, get the last thing, the Paradise Mantle, and oh, I just messed that up. I was going to cast Stoneforge this turn, but then I realized Stoneforge doesn't get anything. All right, I've just fetched on my main phase for no reason. I'm playing really well today. I just want you all to recognize that. It allows for boots on this thing. Inflict damage. Yeah, I have to brainstorm away the Cauldron before the Stoneforge actually gets anything anymore. Uh-oh, well, there we go. We know that was a draw for turn, because it would have been in play in any of the previous 3 turns if it wasn't. Bombardiers. Do I have any forces in my deck? I cut them all, right? Yes, I did. Okay. That has to be fine then. It's a lot of damage if they choose to deal it. Recruiter of the Guard just getting 5 life off me. Pretty nice. Okay, went for the token instead. I'm going to brainstorm in the end step, put back Cauldron and Scalding Tarn. I have to redraw one of them, as long as it's not Cauldron. Okay. Stoneforge Mystic. Wait, I have this Cavern on core. Let's use that. Let's just stop being bad for 1 second. I know it's hard for me. Stoneforge Mystic. Yes, use the ability. Get Cauldron. Play Urza Saga. Put Lava Spur Boots on Stoneforge Mystic. And I think I have to kind of park it right now. I'm not winning the damage race. I don't have any way to draw 1 card, which means even if I do get to end step, see through, step through. Okay, here is Broadside Attack. Killed my Construct token. All right, I can't block anyway here. I could have made that 4/4, but it was dealing 5. All right, I can't block here. Go to 7. Broadside's becoming a huge problem. Okay, the Witch Enchanter had to be used as a land. End step. Okay, what does stepping through here do for me? Not a lot, honestly. It does get my combo pieces in place. All right, I guess I am going to step through. I'll get Puresight Merrow. I don't think I have enough mana to win with a Ponder here. Well, I drew Ponder. Time to actually count it. Okay, so it's play Puresight, move Boots onto it, move Mantle onto it. Yeah, I'm 1 mana short of doing everything. How do I best survive this turn? Can I win this turn? That's also a question. If I put in Cauldron, that's 5. If I make a construct and equip Lava Spur Boots to it, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can attack for 10 right now. That's not enough. All right, I'm going to go Puresight Merrow. I'm going to tap correctly, though. Oh, can I also play... Yeah, I can also play Tamio this turn. Yeah, this is fine. What I'm trying to do is just have lots of blockers in play. Pyroblast, hell yeah. Okay. Well, there goes that guy. It's worth a shot. Fetching to 6 means I die to a 4-drop, but I'm going to need this mana. I can either make a Construct or make Cauldron here. Yep, that's a legend. Oh, so I'm just dead. Good job, me. The Tameo was irrelevant. The Pyroblast was the important part there. Okay, if they have basically any spell. Oh, Yorion in hand. That's not good enough by itself. Yeah, there's only one non-Yorion card in their hand. If they attack here, I can make a Construct and block. All right, here we go. This might be a tactical decision to remove Stoneforge Mystic. It might mean they have Swords of Plowshares in hand. A block. Did they have the Solitude the whole time? Okay, I don't even mind that because I still get to remove the broadside. So that was a tactical decision to nuke my board because they could have plowed pre-combat and just gotten an unblocked creature through. Okay. Construct. Do another Stoneforge. I think I'm out of tutors. Yeah, nothing left to get here. And boots on the ground. The hand is just Yorion. I can outmuscle that if it doesn't find good things to blink. Another Stoneforge. Nothing left to get. They're all here. Mana being tapped. I hope it's not for anything good. Oh no. Oh, that's suddenly a bunch of stuff to do. Wow, Nurturing Pixie can Starfield Shep again. All right, opponent is going off over there. And then this Shep can get, like, Guide of Souls or something. All right, going for Plains to set up Yorion plus Protect It. Okay. That was a sick draw. Cool package to be in the deck. There is currently tapped Caracas over there, which means I can flip Tameo this turn, put in Cauldron, play Tameo. Oh no, I'm one short of flipping Tameo. I can get a clue in play, which also makes my construct bigger for this combat. They do have to block, because this is exactly lethal. Okay, I'm gonna choose to Ponder here. If I hit a Ponder or Brainstorm, I can flip Tameo. I've already made a land drop. Oh, that is another Merrow, though. There's a clue in play. Is it possible to win next turn? Okay, so at upkeep cycle, that costs 2. Assume I don't draw a land. That's 2 to play the Merrow, 1 to equip it, 1 to equip it with the other one. I can start flipping my deck next turn. I'm going to shelf pull this. Sometimes you just save 2 damage on your, or 2 mana off your combo. Cool. Okay. Opponent's got a Starfield Shepherd, a Yorion, and whatever card they just drew. This thing's over here in Warp. They conceded. They knew they were going to get Puresight Merrowed. That's definitely why they tapped out there. Okay, opponent is definitely a Warp Scam energy kind of deck more than a traditional Taxes deck. Harbinger of the Seas could take them off red. It can take them off Caracas. It takes me off Urza Saga and Cavern of Souls. I don't care about Cavern of Souls. Losing Urza Saga, that's kind of the best thing my deck does. I could chuck one of these Voice of Victories, though, and get Harbinger through. I'm also still just getting called to by these Meddling Mages. Yeah, trying to make a creature combo work into the Plow Solitude deck is an inspiring confidence. That's why Voice of Victory was still in the first place. All right, I don't think I'm going to cheese my opponent with Harbinger of the Seas. Meddling Mage could be dope, though. All right, let's play. If I can get Meddling Mage active ahead of the Yorion, like if I can get them to buy Yorion on a turn they can't deploy it immediately. Hand's bad, mulligan. Have to keep this. And I think it's Lava Spur Boots to the bottom. With all the Stoneforges and Sagas, I am just going to run out of things to tutor for anyway over any kind of normal game here. All right, ready for that one again. God bless Prismatic Ending. Whatever god you believe in. There is another mana. There was not a spell cast, though. Ooh, the Puresight Merrow. Stoneforge Mystic. Star causing trouble. I think it's too early to get the Paradise Mantle, even though the pieces are almost here. I need my opponent to start spending interaction on Stoneforge Mystic. Felia. Welcome to the game, Felia. You were certainly going to be in the deck, but I didn't miss seeing you for the last 2 rounds. Ay, caramba. All right, well, their engine is completely off the ground at this point. Thalia can blink the Recruiter, and that's just going to happen every turn until I deal with it. A Solitude pitching backup Thalia. You're out of there, and then this thing comes back. What's the reload? Boomby zooms. Brainstorm, I need your help right now. Consigned to Memory might buy me some time. Caldra's out. Cavern of Souls is out. Yeah, it looks like Cauldra Cavern is the way to do this. I think my plan here is to... No, I need to deal with Thalia. Okay. What is... Like, I can consign the creature coming back into play off of Thalia. I could also just Prismatic Ending Thalia. Then I gotta deal with Broadsides. I think I'm gonna try to deal with Broadsides. And these are both of my Prismatic Endings, so I can play here without doing the Volcanic Island. Guide of Souls. There's no energy in the bank currently. Alright, that's an investment turn. They've got 3 spells in hand, one of them's Broadside Bombardiers. I'm gonna play Saga, and I'm gonna get and then immediately flip Tamiyo. This plays into Pyroblast and doesn't beat Broadside Bombardiers, but nothing, like Consigned to Memory doesn't beat that either, so what am I playing towards? A Containment Priest. I needed that a couple turns ago. I might need it again in the future if Yorion shows up. Alright, I'm gonna go Priest and Saga back, plus a third Thalia. No! This is horse hockey. When Tamiyo didn't die, it's not surprising that they would suddenly have a 2-drop. Because what would be in their hand? Oh my god. It's Jover. And my Containment Priest is 2 cards down. I was planning for needing that later, not immediately. Alright, I cannot win this game. Wait, let's see. So this... Can Puresight Merrow kick in here? Is it possible? Probably not with Thalia also tutoring every single turn. Opponent's got the Broadsides in hand. I'm drawing Urza Saga. Solitude in hand now. Okay, plus Tamiyo. Urza Saga. Puresight Merrow. Consigned to Memory's up. Opponent does not have another white card in their hand at this moment. Yorion could become that card. Broadside Bombardiers can also kill this and flip to Fairy while it's, or Johnny while it's doing it. Right. Everything is attacking. The cat's attacking me. Everything else is attacking Tamiyo. Well, Tamiyo's dead. All right, through the... Yeah, this Consigned to Memory is not going to do enough. Well, right now I could counter a Johnny flipping and the Thalia trigger. Broadside is an activated ability, not a triggered one. I can't stop that. Yeah, my poor Merrow. And Containment Priest is on top of my deck. Do I have any Merrows left? There's still one in there. Do I want Containment Priest? Does this matter? I guess I'll take it begrudgingly. Taking a Construct now doesn't matter, because Thalia could blink it out. Alright, I'll get Paradise Mantle. Use my floating mana to cycle Step Through. I'll get the Merrow. And threaten an activation, tutor Lava Spur Boots next turn, and then die anyway. Trying to thread the needle. Without a sweeper, this is not going to happen. Yeah, the difference between traditional Cephalid Breakfast and this Puresight Merrow stuff we're doing is mostly summoning sickness and occasionally having to pass the turn. The package of this is much smaller than Cephalid Breakfast. Like, you don't have to play a bunch of Narcomoebas and shit. Okay, oh, Solitude is up on the hardcast. All right, yeah, I can't get through this. GG's. Nice one. On to the final round.
The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set.
The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Receivables has it at youtube.com/thereceivables. I'm on the draw. In the final round, I will keep this hand. Good mana, plus Aether Vial, Ponders, Ancient Tomb, end my life with a Chalice of the Void right now. Grim Monolith might be worse, actually. Manifold Key. Off we go. I have 4 Consigned Memories in the sideboard, but this game one already looks terrible. And that has nothing to do with the fact that I'm a goofy combo brew. It has everything to do with the fact that I am a fair deck versus somebody doing something deeply unfair. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to play anymore. You got me. I'm not getting through that. Just anything they tutor, it doesn't matter. And all this mana, I have no response to that. Consigned to Memory, Harbinger of the Seas, Meddling Mage, Prismatic Ending can hit keys and monoliths. Man, it's tough to be this deck that I am in the face of a Karn strategy. I guess Paradise Mantle grants the ability to the Merrow, but you need to activate the equip ability to get that far. If I'm ahead of a Karn, I could do it. But if I'm behind a Karn, this is a lot of dead cards in my deck. A Voice of Victory doesn't matter here. I had high hopes for this card when I put it in the list, and it's just not delivering. Probably cut some Swords to Plowshares. Can I cut them all? Yeah, there's like Tron right now in the format, and then there is, of course, also Mystic Forge combo that exists, though it's not that popular. I'll leave a couple plows in just in case there's Flush Rakers I have to dispatch. Alright, I mean, I don't like this, but it has Consigned to Memory in it. That's the first hurdle to pass. I can step through for Meddling Mage and name the One Ring. I think that's my blind name in this matchup. Workshop, Petal. If they cast Grim Monolith, I'm countering it. Yep. That one is frequently the gate to hell. Oh wait, why am I talking about Meddling Mage? I have Harbinger of the Seas in my deck. Okay, I'm going to play my Plains, and my plan is to step through for Harbinger of the Seas and hope that I'm not already behind a One Ring when that happens. Saga. Petal. Oh, come on. Okay, now Harbinger of the Seas matters way less. I think it's still what I'm going to do, but that's not great. I wish Collector Oof was a wizard. Yeah, the Grim Monolith in the Urza Saga. Oh, wow. Hold on. Hold the frickin' phone. A better play just emerged. Yeah, the Grim Monolith unlocks a bunch of colorless. Urza Saga would still tap for colorless because it's learned how to do that, but the bunch of colorless for things like Kozilek's Command, not interested. Okay, Kozilek's Command confirmed. Okay, passing the turn. And now that means Urza Saga is at the level where I can't Harbinger of the Seas till it dies, because I can't leave my opponent with infinite constructs in play. Does that mean I had to take my chances versus Grim Monolith? Did I blow this completely? No, I think I just need to maintain patience. Island doesn't help. I did consider Wrath of the Skies for the sideboard, but being an Urza Saga deck that's trying to develop a 0 mana artifact as part of my own game plan just felt like that wasn't the right neighborhood to be in. Okay, I have to pass this turn because I have to let the Saga clear. That construct gives them Metalcraft, which means Workshop taps for 3 currently. It's about to be 2. Expedition Map. This can get Planar Nexus and turn on all the stuff, or it could get another Saga and keep grinding. I don't know. We'll see. Urza Saga. They want to keep grinding. That is a colorless source under Harbinger. I am going to plow this construct. This is all I can do. I really have to hope my opponent's hand is just garbage. Taking them off Metalcraft also cost them a bunch of mana on the board. Consign a memory off the top. Step through shit. Alright, Harbinger. Go. Hopefully do something. Don't die immediately to Kozilek's Command. Well, it resolved. Step 1. It didn't get dismembered. Step 2. Opponent can Kozilek's Command it now. Glaring Fleshraker is in the deck. And this is going to be quite a stream of colorless mana. Okay, do I want Meddling Mage here? It's stepping through for another wizard. Meddling Mage could name the One Ring or Kozilek's command. I'm going to grab one of them. Okay, I'm going to name Kozilek's command. That's the win con. That's how they get out of here. Kozilek's command called. And I'll pass the turn. I can't attack here because their Urza Saga would beat me, and that's worth more than a Fleshraker if they took the block. Planar Nexus, aka Island. Tez, Cruel Captain. They probably have a portable hole, which Lotus Petal could unlock. Research Desk. All right, just digging further into the deck. This flips 2 cards, and they can play one of them. If they choose to use it, of course. Might just have it in play for fun. My next land casts Cauldra, which is, I guess, how I'm going to win this game if it's possible. Okay, well, I can tee off on Tezzeret, at least break that engine, or take a bunch of spawns down. Or they have to lose Fleshraker. Attack Tez. It doesn't have enough loyalty to survive blocking with anything less than the Fleshraker plus some spawns. Okay, that's handled. Still, tenuous gaming here. An opponent has a card selection engine face up. Flipped 2 lands off it. Deal. And it would cost them their Lotus Petal to unearth this. I'm all in, but I am doing something. Ah, the P-hole! Oh no, and they want Meddling Mage with it, not Cauldra, or not Germ Token. That's so scary. Just elbow tapping with your last card in hand, which is obviously Kozilek's command. Just show it to me. They always have it. 100% of the time, anyone with Kozilek's command in their deck has... If they have 1 card in hand, it's Kozilek's command. If they have 2 cards in hand, it's 2 Kozilek's commands. That's how this works. Alright, you do have to cast your spell. I'm mousing over the concede button, but just in case this is bait. Alright, I'm good. Don't care no more. Okay, a tough outing with this deck, and I think really the big issue with it, because I remember thinking this was a little cute, but fine the last 2 times I played it. I think the big change now is that the backup staff just isn't good enough. Stoneforge Mystic for Cauldra Complete used to be a legacy game plan. Like a year ago, certainly 3 years ago when I was playing these decks. This was enough that this stood on its own as something that could distract your opponent long enough while you do this sort of thing. But now Stoneforge decks have Thalia and Quantum Riddler. They have late game inevitability. They have all this other stuff. Urza Saga is kind of at an all-time low in the format right now. Aether Vial is in almost no decks. Don't tell my Death and Taxes opponent that, though. Maybe I could be doing more with the Voice of Victory slot. That turned out to be kind of a dud. Do we need 4 step-throughs? Maybe we could play a little bit less of that and maybe flesh out the Stoneforge package. But at that point, I start to worry about the blue count because we are kind of walking on the razor's edge here. Just playing through this league and how anemic the Stoneforge Mystic was the entire time, I would be inspired if I was trying to be a Puresight Merrow combo gamer to revisit the Emperor Mihail build that I played, like the dedicated Merfolk deck that also just contained this. Because I actually think that Merfolk as a strategy is a better bet in Legacy right now than old school Stoneforge Mystic that really only gets Cauldra. Even my tech weapons are not actually tech weapons. They're like, this isn't Cryptic Coat. This isn't pre-war formal wear. Certainly not Meteor Sword. And Meteor Sword doesn't make any sense if you don't have Thalia, because doing all that for a single Vindicate, this is Legacy. We're allowed to play Vindicate. Why would you spend 4 mana on it to do it conditionally if you could just tap 3 lands to do it? I think less than a deck building breakdown here. I think we just have the format has left the station, and Stoneforge Mystic for Cauldra Complete with Urza Saga churning in the background just isn't enough to win a Legacy game anymore. You have to be doing a whole lot more than that. Though I will say, if I'm going to go 1-4, I'm glad I beat Upsell Spells. 1147, thanks for having me do this. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon to support the channel. I'll see you next time.